The Oval Office was tense. It was February 28, 2025. President Trump, now in his second term, met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The meeting was supposed to be about continued U.S. support for Ukraine. Instead, it became a stark display of Trump's aggressive foreign policy shift. Trump demanded Zelensky negotiate with Russia. He threatened to cut off all U.S. aid. Trump's stance represents a clear departure from previous U.S. policy. It signals a potential withdrawal of support for Ukraine. This has sent shockwaves through the international community. Trump's focus was clear: American interests first. He sees Ukraine's resources, particularly its critical minerals, as vital to U.S. interests. The meeting ended abruptly. Zelensky's planned events were canceled. A senior administration official hinted at a complete halt to military aid. The message was clear: Trump is willing to play hardball. He is prioritizing what he sees as American interests, even if it means alienating allies or emboldening adversaries. This dramatic shift has left many wondering about the future of U.S.-Ukraine relations. It has also raised serious concerns about global stability. Trump's actions suggest a more unpredictable and potentially isolationist approach to foreign policy. This has significant implications for the world stage. Across the Atlantic, European leaders watched with a mix of disbelief and alarm. The potential withdrawal of U.S. support for Ukraine has left them scrambling. They face the daunting task of filling the void. The pressure is on to increase their own military aid to Ukraine. A new aid package is in the works, totaling over $20 billion. It includes artillery ammunition, air defense systems, drones, and other vital weapon systems. However, Europe faces its own challenges. Weapons stocks are dwindling after months of supplying Ukraine. The economic impact of the war is also taking its toll. Despite these hurdles, key European figures are stepping up. UK Prime Minister Starmer, French President Macron, and NATO Chief Rutte are coordinating efforts. They aim to present a united front and ensure continued support for Ukraine. The question remains, however, how effective they can be without the full backing of the United States. The situation has exposed Europe's reliance on the US for security. It has also highlighted the need for greater European strategic autonomy. The coming months will be crucial. They will determine whether Europe can forge a new path in a world increasingly shaped by great power competition. Trump's aggressive foreign policy shift is not without its critics. Back home, a chorus of opposition is growing louder. 5 former U.S. defense secretaries have publicly condemned Trump's recent military decisions. They call them reckless and warn of the potential damage to national security and military stability. Their concerns stem in part from Trump's recent military appointments. The nomination of Lieutenant General Dan Razin-Kane as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff has raised eyebrows. So has Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's order to delete online content related to women and minorities in the military. These moves have been widely seen as attempts to politicize the military and erode its apolitical nature. The criticism highlights the growing unease within national security circles about Trump's judgment. Critics argue that his actions are driven by political expediency rather than strategic considerations. They fear that his impulsive decision-making could have dangerous consequences for U.S. interests both at home and abroad. Zelensky, meanwhile, has pleaded for continued U.S. support. In a recent Fox News appearance, he stressed the need for security guarantees against future Russian aggression. He argued that a strong U.S. presence is vital to deter further Russian expansionism. However, the future of U.S. aid remains uncertain. The State Department has hinted at the possibility of Zelensky turning the situation around. This suggests that continued support hinges on Ukraine achieving certain objectives, likely concessions in any negotiations with Russia. Adding to the uncertainty is the increasingly volatile political landscape in Washington. Vice President J.D. Vance publicly criticized Zelensky during the Oval Office meeting. He accused the Ukrainian president of being ungrateful and disrespectful. This public rebuke underscores the internal divisions within the Trump administration regarding Ukraine policy. Trump's renewed focus on his America First agenda further complicates matters. This approach prioritizes U.S. interests above international alliances and commitments. This is evident in his demands regarding Ukraine's resources and his reported proposals to relocate Palestinians in Gaza and impose tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada. The current situation paints a picture of uncertainty and potential instability in U.S. foreign policy under Trump's second term. This has significant implications for longtime U.S. allies and partners, particularly in Europe. They now face the challenge of navigating a new global landscape with potentially reduced U.S. involvement. The world watches and waits, the future uncertain in the face of these dramatic shifts in global power dynamics.